Hello everybody and welcome. Now I know this isn't an MTG video, this is a top 10 video. As I told you guys I'd be doing a top 10 series. Now, I know most of you won't probably watch this because it's not MTG related, but I would really like you to. I spent like the last 10 hours researching these and putting this together for you. This is my top 10 horror movies that you probably haven't seen but should. Not all of these are exactly horror movies per se, but they're in the genre, or some of them are B-rated movies, and I put them in there because they're so funny they deserve to be watched. They're so bad that they deserve to be watched. But we're going to start off the list with a movie called Tokyo Gore Police. Now, I rated these on specific things. Number one being, if it's in a different language and you have to watch it in subtitles, that puts it up on a little list a little more. Number 20 is the worst, number 1's the best. But by number 20, that doesn't mean it's a bad movie at all. Because that's number 20 out of billions that I've seen of horror movies. Probably not billions, probably like hundreds, but still. And these are ones that you haven't seen, so movies like my favorite Hellraiser, or Friday the 13th, or Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky, Texas Chainsaw Massacre will not be on here. So Tokyo Gore Police is basically the most gory... It basically, the whole point of the movie was to break the world record for the most bloody, gory movie ever. It makes no sense. Basically, there's these people who can cut themselves and turn their body into a weapon. At one point, this guy turns his own dick, and by dick I mean penis, into a bazooka. A fucking bazooka. Yes, he turns into a fucking rocket launcher and starts shooting dick missiles at people. There's another guy who's got, like, laser things coming out of his brain and a lot of other messed up fucking shit. It's super cheesy, and since it's in a foreign language, that's why it's number 20. Now, the next movie is one of, if not the most cheesiest movie I've ever seen. Ginger Dead Man 3. Now, there's a bunch of, like, different references to tons of different movies. What this basically is about a gingerbread man who goes back, a killer gingerbread man who escapes prison, goes back in time to the disco era, and starts killing off people in the disco, era. And at one point, he gets his dick bit off by some fat chick, and then he kills her. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Definitely go check it out, though. The next movie, third on the list, 18. This actually should be down lower, but, there's a couple reasons why it's not. It's called All Hallows Eve. This is the first one out of the two I've named. It's number 18. That could be considered a little bit scary. It's not super scary, and it's, again, one of those movies. A lot of these are movies I can't explain without spoiling things. But it's another one of those types of movies. You have to watch it. It's about this, like, person, like, there'll be a movie later down the list and it's kind of a reoccurring theme in some of these. But, this person gets his videotape, this kid gets his videotape in his Halloween trick-or-treat bag or whatever. And he plays it, and there's basically this guy with a clown mask on it. And, a bunch of other fucked up shit happens. The fourth one, which... Don't ask me why it's number 16, because it really doesn't deserve to be, but it's just so fun, so bad that it is. Thanksgiving. Now, this is about a killer turkey, and it's so cheesy. At one point, the high schoolers who are probably like seniors are like running home, and like the turkey has killed the girl's dad and is wearing his face as a mask, and the high schoolers believe that it's their dad, and are just, like, talking to the turkey like it's their dad. It's, like, the stupidest thing ever. You have to watch it for yourself. The fifth one, and coming in at number 15, is the Santa Slayer. So, basically, the Santa is, like, Satan's son, or Satan, I forget which, and he loses at shuffleboarding. Yes, that's right, fucking shuffleboarding. So, he has to, be good for, like, 1,000,000 years or whatever, but then, like, the 1,000,000 years is up, and, like, he starts killing people, and, this guy, who's, like, apparently the son of an angel, got to go beat him at shuffleboarding again. Number, 14, Jack Frost. Now, this is one movie I would definitely like, even though it's number 14. Definitely go watch it. It's really funny. Jack Frost is about a killer snowman. Yes, the killer's fucking snowman. And this is like a high budget movie too. They spent like over $1 million on this movie. Fucking, it's about a snowman that goes around murdering people. But it's got one of my favorite openings ever, and it's like so funny. It's just like this guy telling this little girl like a story, and she's like, it's hard to explain, but go check it out. Number 13, Dead Snow. Now this movie is really really good, and since it's a foreign language movie, as I said, those reduce points by a lot, and for it to be down this low on the list is pretty big. So if it wasn't foreign language, it'd be a lot. Could be into like the top 10. It's about these Nazi zombies. These guys wake up this treasure while they're like camping or whatever, like this group of teenagers, and there's these Nazi zombies. And well, you got to really check it out for yourself. The next one is The Collection. Now, are you tired of those boring old Saw movies? Because I know I am. Now, I think this is number 13. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you're tired of those boring old Saw movies, because I know I am. Yeah, so no, this is number 14. So if you're tired of those boring old Saw movies, because I know I am, this is a change of pace. It's a lot like Saw, but there's like, the traps are ridiculous. They kill, like, there's one trap that just grinds like an entire, rave party and kills everybody there in like almost everybody there in like a second. It just grinds them up in the chopped meat, and it's just like ridiculous, and thousands of people die. So it's like Saw, but in my opinion a lot better than all the movies after the first one. The next one, and no, it's not this high because these two could be interchangeable, The Collection. The next one is Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Again, this is one of those ones that's more funny. No, it's not this high. It's not number 13 because it has my name in it. It's a really good movie. It's about these rednecks who, these teenagers are going, like, camping or whatever, and so are these rednecks or whatever. They just bought this new cabin, and, like, this girl, well, they're, like, skinny dipping or whatever. This girl, hits her head, and, the rednecks, like, pick her up. They're, like, really good, nice people, and they're like, we've got, your friend. We've got your friend. They make it sound like they're like some psychotic killers, but really they're trying to help her or whatever. And the funny thing, Tucker ends up with the girl at the end, which is really good with me, yay. He actually ends up with the super hot, like, teenage girl that they think is, like, getting killed. And a bunch of people just die in random ways trying to, like, rescue her. It's really funny. Shudder. Now, this is like the first really kind of scary movie on this list. Shudder's about this photography man, guy who takes pictures. It's really hard to explain. Repo the Genetic Opera. This is this low on the list only because it's to a select few of people who would like it. It's like number 10 on the list because there's a select few people who would like it, but there's basically opera music in it and stuff like that, but it's really good. It's got like a dark undertone. It's really, really good checking out. It's about these people who sell organs or whatever in like a futuristic world. There's another movie called Repo Man that's an action adventure that's really shitty, and don't look up that. But it's called Repo the Genetic Opera. The next one is called Rubber. Now this would be number 1, except for the fact that, like, I just couldn't do it because it's my personal taste is the reason it would be number 1, not because of it being a good movie. It's about a tire. Yes, a tire, as in like a car tire, with psychic powers that can kill people. And like, I don't want to spoil anything, and you have to go watch it. Like, if there's any number 1 movie on this list that I'd want you to watch, go watch Rubber. It's just totally worth watching. And if you can, buy the movie, because then they might make a second one, which I'm not going to say the ending of it, but it'd be really funny if they made a second one. I God hope they do. VHS. Now, this is like All Hallows Eve, except a lot better done. VHS is about these people who go to this house to rob a house, and they find these old VHS tapes in them, and they start watching them, and there's a bunch of different, like, murders on the tapes and stuff, and it's just really weird. The next one isn't really super scary, But I can't say anything about it because it's got huge. It's like an M. Night Shyamalan twist type thing, except good. And I totally, if you want to watch something that will like, will mind fuck you, and it's just really good. If you want to watch like a psychological thriller kind of thing, it's called The Perfect Host. Now, I watched this like 2 years ago and then forgot all about it, and then one day I went to watch it again and couldn't remember the name, and I spent like a year trying to figure it out. Even so, making this video, I forgot the name again. I spent half of this time researching this movie, was trying to figure out what the name of that movie was. It's called The Perfect Host. Definitely look it up. The next one, okay, this movie is scary, and out of all of these, besides Rubber, I would tell you to go watch this. It's the most fucked up, crazy, psychotic, and disturbing movie I've ever seen. It's just so disturbing. So basically, like, there's these four outcasts or whatever who's angry at this, like, this quarterback or whatever. So they invade his home while he's at practice and, like, force his parents, like, do these fucked up things or they'll kill them. And, because they get tired of waiting for their son to come home. So I can't go into more detail. You have to watch it. The next one is called Dead Silence. Probably the most scariest movie on this list. I wasn't exactly scared by it because I'm not scared by really any movies. Try to name a movie down below if you want to that I would be scared by. But it's definitely like the scariest movie on this list. You just have to go watch it. The ABCs of Death. Now each one of the ABCs, so 24. Each ABC, they got a bunch of horror movie directors, like most famous of all time. They each make a very, very short, like it could be 5, it could be 10 minute. Probably like 10 minutes would be the longest, but like movie, and they put them all together, and they call it the ABCs of Death, and each one has to be corresponding with the letter they're given. So they gave a letter to all these people, and then they're supposed to write a story on it, and then they made a movie out of each one. So like, it's really hard to explain without you watching, but it's really good. Like it's 24 different movies. I really wish I could see more movies with this much creativity and thought into it. It's just so good. There's even one for furry, by the way. It's hilarious. It's like a cart. Oh, I can't explain it. It's just hilarious. Okay, now number 3. Now all of you guys, because if you were picked on in school or whatever, this is the movie for you. Now I wasn't surprisingly picked on in school that much because I was really tall and I'm super big. People would fight with me just to like say that they won, but I never actually lost the fight. I do have scars all over my body from it. But anyways, this movie is about these teens who are bullied and harassed so much that like they go to this party or whatever and they drug everybody there and they're filming it live, and they're releasing it live. It's like they videotaped it, and like they start like torturing the people who are mean to them. And it's like a whole group of kids. It's like 30 kids that they start torturing, whatever, and it's really good. You have to watch it. Number 2. Now, this movie is in a foreign language. Remember how I said that makes it a really big drawback? So for this to be number 2, this must be the like most fucking amazing movie ever to be in a different language. It is subtitled. It's called Let the Right One In. Now, there is an American version to this, which is not nearly as good, and do not watch. Which I think is called, I forget what it's called, but Let the Right One In is also one of them, like a super famous book. But if you want, looking for a very good vampire movie, it's about this little girl who meets this, like, guy, like, this boy or whatever, and just, like, this fucked up shit happens, and it's, like, they gotta adapt to her being a vampire while they're in love or whatever, and it's really bloody, it's really gory, it's really good. The last one, now there's 4 different stories going on, in this movie, and it's my favorite, one of my top 4 favorite movies of all time, regardless. It's probably number 3. It's called Trick or Treat. Now, there's like 20 different things, there's like 5 different things going on that all end up going on together on this Halloween night. From vampires and werewolves to a dad and their son who like to kill people